What if the person chosen to save the world was the one person forbidden from ever truly living in it? A symbol of hope kept in a gilded cage. A savior whose every choice is made for her. A life defined not by what she can do, but by everything she cannot. She can never be touched. She can never be looked upon. She can never be spoken to directly. She can never, ever experience pleasure. Today, we delve into a world where duty is a death sentence. Love is the most dangerous rebellion, and the lines between gods and monsters are not just blurred, they're soaked in blood. Welcome, truth seekers, to a story that will seize you from the first page and refuse to let go. We are talking about From Blood and Ash, the first novel in the explosive fantasy series by the '51 New York Times best-selling author, Jennifer L. Armentrout. This isn't just a book, it's a phenomenon, a world that has captured the hearts and minds of millions of readers, and for very good reason. The core problem of this novel is a question that beats at the heart of the human experience. What does it mean to live when you are not allowed to be free? What happens when the life you are told is a sacred honor feels more like a prison? Our protagonist, known to her kingdom only as the Maiden, carries the fate of her people on her shoulders. Chosen from birth to usher in a new era through a mysterious ritual called the Ascension, her life is one of absolute solitude and sacrifice. She is a relic, a symbol, a promise to the gods. But beneath the veil that constantly shields her face from the world, she is simply Poppy. A young woman who longs for connection, for choice, for the right to fight her own battles and make her own mistakes. She would rather be with the guards, training to fight the evil that took her family, than preparing to be found worthy by the gods. But the choice has never been hers. This book grapples with the profound conflict between duty and desire, between the stories we are told and the truths we must discover for ourselves. It plunges us into a kingdom teetering on the edge of a knife, haunted by a dark past and threatened by monstrous creatures called the Craven that rise from a cursed mist. The grand promise of From Blood and Ash is a total immersion into a world of breathtaking scope, intricate lore, and searing emotional intensity. It promises to deliver a heroine's journey that is as much about discovering her own power as it is about uncovering the terrifying lies her kingdom is built upon. And at its heart, it promises a romance that is as forbidden as it is inevitable, a connection so powerful it could either save the world or burn it to ash. This is a story that reminds us that the most dangerous prisons are often the ones we cannot see, so prepare yourself. Because once you step into this world, nothing will ever be the same. Our journey begins within the stone walls of Castle Tierman, in the Kingdom of Solace. Here we meet Penelope, known to the world as the Maiden. She is the chosen, a living deity in the eyes of her people. But for Poppy, the name only her lost family once used, her life is anything but divine. Her every moment is dictated by tradition and rules. She wears a veil at all times, her face hidden from the world, a constant reminder of her sacred, untouchable status. She is forbidden from forming friendships, from engaging in conversation, from reading anything that isn't religious or historical doctrine. Her existence is a waiting game, a life held in stasis until her 19th birthday, the day of her ascension, when she will be given to the gods to secure the kingdom's future. But Poppy is a prisoner with a secret fire. Unbeknownst to her guardians, the cold and calculating Duke, and the more compassionate Duchess of Macedonia, Poppy has been training in secret. Her personal guard, a man named Victor, has become a father figure to her, and recognizing the spark of rebellion in her, he has taught her to fight. She is skilled with a dagger, with a sword, with a bow. This secret training is her only true act of defiance, her only way of preparing for a world she is forbidden to face, the world where monsters called the Craven slaughtered her parents when she was just a child. This quiet rebellion, however, is not enough. The loneliness is a constant ache, the curiosity a burning fever. One night, fueled by a desire to simply live, Poppy borrows a servant's cloak and a simple domino mask and escapes the castle. Her destination is a place she has only heard of in scandalized whispers, the Red Pearl, a notorious gambling den and pleasure house. It is here, in this haven of the forbidden, that her world begins to tilt on its axis. She finds herself at a card table with a group of off-duty guards from the Rise the Great Wall that protects the kingdom. They are kind, but their conversation is grim. They speak of a guard named Finley, found dead just outside the Blood Forest, drained of blood and torn to pieces. It's the work of the Craven, and their presence so close is a dark omen. The grim reality of her world follows her even here, but Poppy is determined to experience something, anything else. She feels a strange, tingling awareness, the potent sensation of being watched. Her eyes scan the room and land on him, Hawk Flint. A new guard from the capital, a man so beautiful he seems sculpted from myth. He moves with a predatory grace, and Poppy, who has secretly watched him train in the castle yards, knows there is a deep, hidden pain within him. And now, in the Red Pearl, his honey gold eyes are fixed on her. A series of events, almost fated, leads her to a private room upstairs, a room she believes to be empty, a place to hide when she sees her own guard, Victor, enter the den. But the room is not empty. Hawk is there. And in a moment of breathtaking confusion, he mistakes her for someone else, a maid named Britta whose cloak Poppy is wearing. Before she can speak, before she can think, he is pulling her into his arms. His voice is a husky whisper. I don't know what kind of game you're about tonight, but am willing to find out. And then he kisses her. It's nothing like she could have ever imagined. It's not sweet or soft. It is hard and overwhelming, acclaiming. It's a shock to her system, a jolt of pure, unadulterated sensation that is both terrifying and utterly exhilarating. It is her first kiss, and it is a stolen moment of raw, forbidden pleasure. But just as quickly as it begins, it is over. Hawk pulls back, his hand brushing a strand of her coppery hair. He knows she is not the woman he was expecting. Who are you? He murmurs, his voice laced with a dangerous curiosity. This single night of rebellion sets in motion a chain of events that will unravel Poppy's entire world. The very next day, her other personal guard, Rylan, is killed by an arrow in the Queen's garden, an arrow marked with the promise of the kingdom's greatest enemy, from blood and ash, we shall rise. This is the mark of the Dark One, the supposed heir to the fallen kingdom of Atlantia, a figure of pure evil in the stories Poppy has been told. In the chaos of the attack, Poppy is not a helpless maiden. She fights back, using her hidden skills to wound her attacker, before he is called off by a mysterious whistle from the trees. The attack proves that she is no longer safe. The Duke and Duchess, under pressure, must assign her a new guard. And in a decision that feels like a cruel twist of fate, they choose the most skilled, most capable, most observant guard available. They choose Hawk Flynn. Now, the man who gave her a taste of the forbidden is her constant shadow. The journey to the capital is decreed for her own safety. The castle walls that were her prison are left behind, and she is thrust into the dangerous, unknown world beyond the rise. The journey is a crucible, forging an undeniable bond between them. Hawk is not like her other guards. He is teasing, irreverent, and infuriatingly perceptive. He sees past the veil, past the title of the maiden, and speaks to the woman underneath. He challenges her, pushes her, and protects her with a ferocity that feels intensely personal. Slowly and possibly, Poppy finds herself trusting him. She tells him about her past, about the massacre that took her parents, about the scars that mar her skin, scars she believes make her a tragedy. Hawk's reaction is not one of pity or disgust. He tells her both halves are as beautiful as the whole. He tells her the scars are a testament to her fortitude, proof of what she survived. He makes her feel seen, truly seen, for the first time in her life. Their journey is fraught with peril. They navigate the desolate barren plains and enter the horrifyingly beautiful blood forest, a place where the trees themselves seem to bleed. They are attacked by the monstrous Craven, and it is here that Hawk witnesses Poppy's true strength. He doesn't chide her for fighting, he fights alongside her, admiring her skill, calling her magnificent. In these moments of shared danger, their connection deepens into something more. The witty banter gives way to stolen glances, the protective touches linger, and the air between them crackles with an unspoken, forbidden desire. One night, during a stop at an old keep in a town called New Haven, everything changes. After a day of escalating tension and a night of shared vulnerability, Poppy makes a choice. She asks Hawk to kiss her. What follows is not just a kiss, but a surrender. An earth-shattering, soul-searing night where Poppy reclaims her body, her desires, her life. She gives herself to him, not as the maiden, but as Poppy, a woman choosing her own path, her own pleasure, her own love. For a few perfect hours, she is not a prisoner. She is free. She is loved. And then the world shatters. The keep is not a safe haven. It's a trap. It is filled with dissenters, followers of the Dark One. And the man she just gave her heart, her body, and her trust to is not who he says he is. Phillips, One of her own guards who had suspected something was wrong reveals the truth before he is killed. Hawk isn't just a dissenter. He is not Hawk Flynn, the guard from the capital. He is Castiel Denier, Prince of Atlantia, the man she knows as the Dark One. Every moment they shared, every word, every touch is cast in a new, horrifying light. It was all a lie. A calculated, masterful deception to gain her trust, to make her lower her guard, to lead her willingly out of the safety of her kingdom and into the hands of her greatest enemy. The people she fought beside, the guards who died protecting her on the journey, were killed as part of his plan. Victor, her father figure, Rylan, her friend, all dead because of him. The devastation is absolute. He had seen the real her, the vulnerable parts she showed to no one, and he had used it all against her. Enraged and heartbroken, Poppy, in a moment of pure anguish, stabs him in the chest with a bloodstone dagger she finds on the floor. But an Atlantean, unlike a Craven or an Ascended, cannot be killed by a stab to the heart. He doesn't die. Instead, he looks at her, his eyes filled not with just anger, but with a deep, wrenching pain that mirrors her own. He had lied. He had betrayed her. But in the final, stunning revelation of the book, he reveals the greatest lie of all. The history she has been taught, the kingdom she was raised to serve, the very nature of the Ascended, and the Craven, it is all a fabrication. He tells her that the Ascended are not blessed by the gods. They are vampires who feed on mortals and turn them into the monstrous Craven. He, an Atlantean, is not the monster she believes him to be. And then he delivers the final world-altering blow. He has captured her not to kill her, but to use her as a bargaining chip to free his brother, who is held captive by her queen. And the reason they are going to his home, to the true, hidden kingdom of Atlantia, is for one purpose. He looks at her, the man who has shattered her heart and her world, and says, "We go home to marry, my princess." So, what makes From Blood and Ash so radically different, so utterly addictive? It lies in Jennifer L. Armentrout's masterful subversion of fantasy tropes. This isn't just a chosen one narrative. It's a deconstruction of it. Poppy is the maiden, but the book relentlessly asks, what does that title truly mean? Is it an honor, or is it a brand? The book's true genius is its pacing of revelations. Armentrout doesn't just build a world, she builds a world of lies and then systematically, brutally, tears it down, forcing both the reader and the protagonist to question every truth they've been fed. The unique essence here is the masterful blend of an epic, high fantasy plot with an intensely intimate, character-driven romance. The political intrigue, the war between kingdoms, the monstrous threats, they are all external pressures that serve to forge the central relationship. The connection between Poppy and Hawk or Castiel is the molten core of this story. It's a slow burn that ignites into an inferno, filled with some of the most memorable banter, searing tension, and emotional vulnerability you will ever read. Who is this book for? This is for the reader who is tired of passive heroines. Poppy is a force of nature, a woman who reclaims her agency one forbidden act at a time. This is for the reader who loves a morally gray, complex hero. Castiel is not a simple villain or a straightforward hero. He is a whirlwind of contradictions, ruthless and tender, manipulative and honest, a monster with the heart of a king. If you are a fan of Sarah J. Maas, A Court of Thorns and Roses, or the intricate worlds of Leigh Bardugo, this book is your next obsession. It is for anyone who craves a story that is equal parts epic adventure, spicy romance, and shocking mystery. Who is this book not for? If you are looking for a straightforward, good versus evil fantasy, this is not it. The lines are not just blurred, they are non-existent. If you dislike cliffhangers, be warned. This book, and the entire series, will leave you on the edge of your seat, desperate for more. It is also not for the faint of heart. It contains graphic violence and mature themes. But for those who are willing to take the plunge, the single most valuable takeaway is a profound exploration of truth and identity. It forces us to ask, are we defined by the roles society gives us, or by the choices we make when those roles try to suffocate us? It's a story about the power of questioning everything, especially the histories written by the victors. We began with a paradox, the caged savior, the revered prisoner. Through these pages, we have followed Poppy on her harrowing journey out of that cage. We felt her first taste of freedom, her first kiss, her first love. And then we felt the devastating crash as her newfound world was revealed to be a more intricate, more personal prison than she could have ever imagined. The man who taught her to live as the man who represents the very evil she was raised to fear. The kingdom she was meant to save is built on a foundation of monstrous lies. Everything she thought she knew is gone. What is left is a choice: to submit to her captor, or to rise from the blood and ash of her old life and forge a new one. This summary is just the map. Reading the book is the journey itself. It's an experience that will leave you breathless, heartbroken, and utterly enthralled. To truly feel the sting of betrayal, to understand the depth of the lies, and to join Poppy as she stands at the dawn of a war that will define her and her world, you have to let Jennifer L. Armentrout's words wash over you. The link to purchase From Blood and Ash is in the description below. I promise you this is one choice you will not regret. And when you're done, be sure to like, subscribe, and come back to tell us what you think. Until next time, keep seeking the stories that change you.